back and we are black. What is going on? Another day, another time, another dollar. Well, not a dollar for us. 10 cents for us, $150 an hour for white folk. 10 cents, minus 10 cents for black folk. What is going on? This is the No I Don't Know podcast. Shout out to Nuke. I gotta text Nuke. I'm about to text Nuke. But anyway, what is going on? Shout out to everybody that's out there talking about racism don't exist. So if racism don't exist, all you dominant society motherfuckers, why don't y'all ask Rayshard Brooks' family? Just after George Floyd, same shit. So shout out to all you motherfuckers out here acting like white privilege doesn't exist. Racism, white supremacy, anti-black racism doesn't exist. So shout out to all y'all that's pandering and caping for the dominant society. So you get a pat on the head. Y'all know y'all niggas are. Hey. Shout out to all the families that's dealing with these deaths in their family. Breonna Taylor, David McGatty, Philando Castile, Oscar Grant, Alton Sterling, Rayshard Brooks, George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, Oscar Grant, oh man, Eric Gardner, I Can't Breathe, number 1, George Floyd, I Can't Breathe, number 2. How many times cannot breathe? So love and respect and nothing but positive vibes go to that family of Rayshard Brooks. So shout out to all you motherfuckers that really do know that racism and white supremacy does exist. And a special shout out to all my people that has read the ISIS papers by Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. And shout out to all you that know that her teachings and what she wrote, those are prime pieces. Those are legacy books. And you should cherish them because we're dealing with that shit to this day. So shout out to all y'all. Hey. Shout out to everybody that's out there trying to do what it do. Make it happen like yesterday. Hey. Shout out to all you motherfuckers that's not trying to make it happen but trying to finesse your way through life. So shout out to y'all because you know motherfuckers will finesse like a motherfucker. So shout out to all y'all finesses. Shout out to the anti-finesses. Motherfuckers that just really rather just get up and go get it they own. Instead of trying to figure out who they gonna finesse. But I'm here, y'all, with the God who created the earth, who created the sun that gives us light, the God who holds up the ocean, who makes the thunder roar, our God who has ears to hear. You are hidden in the cloud, who watch us from where you are. You see all that the white has made us suffer. The white man's God asked him to commit crimes, but the God within us wants us to do good. Our God who is so good, so just, he orders us to avenge our wrongs. It's he who will direct our arms and bring us the victory. It's he who will assist us. We shall throw away the image of the white man's God who is so pitiless. Listen to the voice for liberty that sings in our hearts. Dirty Bookman's prayer, you gotta read that shit. It's gonna give you a different perspective. Hey. Man, shout out to all you motherfuckers that's out there that understand what racism and white supremacy is and are trying to battle it every day and know how to deal with anti-black racism, because it is not easy. As we can see, we just lost another fallen soldier who just fell asleep in his car, and instead of them tasing him and arresting him, they just shot him. So shout out to all you people that understand that, as Neely Fuller Jr. teaches, you are a prisoner of war. So shout out to all y'all, and shout out to the motherfuckers that will argue motherfucker down about the dominant society don't exist and we are just slaves in our mind. And, right. So if I just act like slavery ain't there, then it'll go away. Stop it. You know, I think it's quite interesting to watch how motherfuckers will buck dance, coon, and sambo for the dominant society. So shout out for them. Shout out to all them Sambos. They need Sambo rehab. I wish Dr. Sebi was alive so he can make an elixir for Sambos. We'll call it an anti-Sambo shake. For real. Because there's a lot of motherfuckers out there that need it. Hey. You know, when you really look at things, you're going to really understand that if you look around, you have no friends and no allies. I don't care who the fuck marks with you. These motherfuckers ain't your friends. Hey. They not even trying to pretend to be your friend. They just want to tear some shit up and get some free shit. Ask that bitch that was walking out of that cheesecake factory with a goddamn cheesecake. She probably worked there. But I bet you they ain't trying to find and arrest that bitch. So let us not take this shit for granted and understand exactly what's going on. It is a war out there where no native black person is safe. So you can march with us and you can pretend like you're our allies, but I know you agent provocateurs, you guys out there, and this black motherfucking agent provocateurs too. A lot of them on Twitter too. Hey. This should give you time to think, like, damn, they ain't stopped killing us. And they're not gonna stop. They will never stop until we stand up and defend who we are. Everybody needs to go get 1804, the Haitian Revolution. Please go order that DVD on Amazon.com or go on, just order. Please do. It's very imperative that you do. Very, very, very imperative that you really, really need to get that. Go check out FBAtimes.com. It got all the latest shit that's going on. They got all the information. Race soldiers and everything. Hey. Turn this shit down. Man, there's so much shit going on, but let's get into it. R.I.P. to Rayshard Brooks. Those race soldiers, Officer Garrett Rolfe and Officer Devin Bronson, two Caucasian men once again. And what was so funny was it started off peaceful as a stop, and they started talking to him and engaged with him. Then they tried to put their hands on him, and he ended up beating the fuck out of their ass. Then instead of shooting him with a taser, you shoot him with a gun in his back while he's running away. What are you doing? That's capital murder. Those two race soldiers deserve death. The death penalty is what they deserve. They should be tried, convicted, and sentenced to the death penalty. I don't give a fuck with nobody. I'm tired of motherfuckers. Then you got Angela Davis and all these other coons and Sambos. You see all the coons and Sambos? How they starting to come out? Because these are people that want to be liked by the dominant society. These are people that want jobs. They're lobbying for position. So they like, oh, don't. And see, Keisha LaMamie Bottoms was just talking crazy to black folks, talking about y'all should be ashamed of yourself tearing up the CNN building after everything that Ted Turner has done for us. Ted Turner don't give a flying fuck about no niggas. But you see how motherfuckers are Sambo and Coon? She is by far probably the biggest mammy. I don't know, it's between her and Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams looks like the goddamn Pine Saw lady. I don't know whether I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's like, god damn, man. Then you battling with the motherfuckers on Twitter. It's like, goddamn. So it ain't enough. So how many times do a nigga need to get shot and killed? I don't care if he was tussling, fighting with the officers. Those officers should have just been like, fuck it, just let him run. Fuck it, just let him run. It ain't that deep. He ain't trying to do nothing to us. We already got a lot of heat on us, but they like, fuck that. This shit ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep upholding the fucking law. The so-called law. They don't give a flying fuck about no niggas, and it's gonna happen again. Don't think that it's not gonna happen again. I'm telling you right now, if you don't wake up and understand that racism and white supremacy exists, then you got another thing coming. I was on Twitter and this motherfucker was talking about, oh, well, y'all slave. Like, you can't be a slave. I have to read it, man. Because he started sounding real Sambo-ish and talking about, oh, he don't believe in what Dr. Frances Cress, that doesn't make her right because people follow her. I'm like, okay. My antenna's already up when you start talking shit about Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. The Honorable, the late, great Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. That book changed my whole perspective because she broke it down from a psychological standpoint. People have used what she has talked about in her studies in their movies. Boomerang, the pool table scene where Martin is talking about all the balls and how they knock out every ball, but the black ball is the last ball to get knocked off and how the pool table's the earth. He got that from Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Stop it. John Singleton got his beginning of his movie, The Baby Boy, from Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Public Enemy got their Fear of a Black Planet from Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Stop it. So when I hear these negative sentiments coming from my black people, I'll be like, man, what are you doing, man? Then a motherfucker had the nerve to try to quote Harriet Tubman to me. And I'm like, okay, so what are you doing? Oh, well, because y'all still slaves. I said, so what you trying to tell me that the dominant society does not dominate 9 areas of activity? Stop it. Stop it. Stop. Then, and I said, well, my question to you is, since they don't dominate 9 areas of activity, then why don't black people have land, wealth, and resources? That's my question to you. Then he start giving me some other bitch. Watch this video. No. You tell me. Stop. That's the problem with black folk, man. They want to be oppositional to the people that's trying to help us, and then you go quoting Harriet Tubman. Nigga, first of all, let's just let it be clear. She was talking about Sambos that didn't want to be free. Stop using Harriet Tubman and all these other black civil rights leaders or just black leaders that really wanted freedom and trying to use it as a parody to make it seem like, oh, well, we don't want to be free. No, Neely Fuller Jr. is right. In this system of racism and white supremacy, you are a prisoner of war. This isn't your system. Because if it was your system, we wouldn't need land, wealth, and resources. We'd have our own banks, our own corporations, our own everything. But when you're dealing with black folk that'll say shit like that, you're like, man, what do you own, bruh? That's why I just was like, oh, man, this dude is lost. You know what I mean? Here, let me find it. Yeah, I am DOS, a descendant of a slave. You claiming a descendant of a slave. Oh, let me see what he said about Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Let me see. Then he tried to talk about, oh, well, it's your journey, all that. I said, we all got different journeys, but nigga, you're still black. So nice try with that. Well, it's your journey. You can act like the dominant society doesn't exist. See, that's that slave. That's that coon, mammy, Sambo, Stephen from Django telling about the gunline boss ass talk. That's what that shit is. And that's all it is. That's why I was like, okay, well then explain to me. Then, because he said, notice I did not mention her name as a source. Just because many black folks study her doesn't make her right. It only makes them wrong. And my thing is, you, sir, are the biggest Sambo I probably met. Because most of our scholars quote Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. But see how black people can be more divisive? These are the same motherfuckers that be talking about, oh, well, I'm a descendant of a slave. What? But then you just said that dominant society don't exist. Stop it. Oh, well, white supremacy only exists. Stop, man. Stop. That's the problem with black folk. On one end, motherfucker want to be claiming this descendant of slave, and on another part, oh, well, why you acting? You're still a slave in your mind. Nigga, we're all slaves, you jackass. We're all slaves. You're either a slave or you're a dependent. You're one of the two. You can't be both. Stop. Motherfuckers want to get to talking that shit. That's all I was like, man, I wasn't feeling that motherfucker. Thank you. Hey, what's going on, Taj? This is America. I'm like, clown, what is you saying? Let me see what this motherfucker said. I'm like, bro, what is you talking about, homie? His name is I Am Dos DOAS, descendant of a slave. You know what I mean? And the one thing that I will say is, I said, and then one of my responses was, you sounded quite Sambo-ish. I sure did. And I'm like, it's so, what's so funny about these people is, in my personal opinion, what's so funny about a lot of people is they claim to have studied, right? They claim to have read these books, but then when you start quoting certain things, they want to go quote some shit on an article. Just like these motherfuckers, yet again, was talking that shit about Ice Cube. And I was, people were going through their mentions, and I guess they had seen what I said days before, so they started hitting me up, well, that's anti-Semitic. I said, look, man, stop it. I am not going to not hold the Jewish white community accountable for their participation in the Atlantic slave trade and their participation in anti-black slavery. I mean, not anti-black slavery, but anti-black racism, and upholding the institution of racism and white supremacy. Oh, that's anti-Semitic. No, it's not. I never called them a name. I can't oppress no Jewish people. Stop. That's one. Then two, motherfucker try to say, oh, well, those were the different Jews. Stop it. So which one were you? Notice how especially the white Jewish community, they try to walk away like they ain't did shit. So if y'all ain't did shit, then why did y'all let Donald Sterling talk all that shit about niggas, and then when it was time to sell the team, the Clippers, the Baltimore Clipper, which is a slave ship, why would y'all sell it to another white Jewish man if y'all are for black liberation? No, you're not. You're for black slavery. Anti-black racism is what you want. See, the NBA, I'm with Steven Jackson. The NBA just want to start playing basketball so they can make money. They don't give a fuck about no niggas. Like Steven Jackson, I ain't heard one NBA owner come out and be like, you know what, this is wrong. No, they more worried about that money. They don't give a fuck about niggas getting killed and getting shot. They don't give a fuck about that shit. And they will never care about it because it ain't their job. So why all your little friends out there marching and whining and repeating with y'all, and y'all blocking the freeway and fight for your rights and doing this post? Well, let's see how much they gonna march, whine, and repeat when it's time to talk about reparations. Why is it when it's time to talk about reparations, everybody get ghosted? And motherfuckers like Joe Biden and all these other niggas that are supposed to be politicians, black folk, they get to Sambo cooning and buck dancing and deflecting like they're basically like they're part of the system of racism and white supremacy. Why isn't it one black person besides Bob Johnson that said, where are the reparations? And Bob Johnson's number was low. What the fuck you mean $350,000 per person? Nah, nigga, fuck you. You mean $3.5 million per person, per black person. What the fuck is you talking about? So if you built a house for me and I never paid you no money and made you live outside and gave you the scraps for years and years and years, then when you had kids, your kids lived outside, and then my kids gave your kids scraps for years and years, generation, and then finally one of your generations of kids was like, hey, fuck that, they owe us the house. Fuck the scraps. Stop it. Stop. You better understand what it is and what's going on and stop going along with the okie doke. And stop spending our time trying to bash people like Dr. Frances Welsing and Neely Fuller Jr. like they don't know what the fuck. I hate that shit. It's like, but you notice the motherfucker never come out and talk no real shit about no white folk, but they quick to be like, oh, well, they full of it. Okay, right. So Neely Fuller Jr. just making up shit. The shit just, it's crazy to him. Stop. So Dr. Frances Welsing is just some crazy woman that just, she just happened to be a psychiatrist, but she's just crazy. Stop it. Stop with the Samboing, man. Now I want to see what I'm gonna play what the DA criticized Atlanta. So let's see what they gonna say. Let's see what he gonna say. I hope it ain't no goddamn commercial, because you already know how they do. They play commercial after commercial. Because I want to see what he got to say. Because, man, this is very, very imperative that we start paying attention, man. And notice those white women that burnt up that motherfucking Wendy's.
Definitely that probably sometime around Wednesday, we will be making a decision in this case. When I saw that footage that you just displayed, That conversation went on about 22 minutes with Mr. Brooks talking with these two officers. And it's very difficult when you see it, when you see the demeanor of Mr. Brooks, to imagine that some short time later, it ends up with him being dead. I thought that it was cordial. He was very cooperative. He answered the questions that the officers asked. He did not seem to present any kind of threat to anyone. And so the fact that it would escalate to his death just seems unreasonable. And
Exactly. So how did it go from that friendly to all of a sudden y'all grabbing him and Teslaing him, and then all of a sudden he fucking y'all up, and then y'all running and shooting him in the back? Stop. I don't know why this shit don't want to play, man. Well, I guess it ain't gonna play. Fuck it then. Let's see if I can get it to play this shit. Let's see if it's, I'm trying to play it one more time because I want to see what he gonna say. But in the meantime, man, hey man, it should make everybody think and wake up. And watch what these black politicians say. All of them. Mayors who matter. Yeah, it looked like a mammy convention. You know what I mean? And I really want to understand what he said here. I'm going to play it one more time. Let's see what he say.
Just displayed that conversation went on about 22 minutes with Mr. Brooks talking with these probably sometime around Wednesday. We will be making a decision on Wednesday. We'll be making a decision in this case. When I saw that footage that you with Mr. Brooks talking with these two officers, and it's very difficult when you see it, when you see the demeanor of Mr. Brooks, to imagine that some short time later, it ends up with him being dead. I thought that it was cordial. He was very cooperative. He answered the questions that the officers asked. He did not seem to present any kind of threat to anyone. And so the fact that it would escalate to his death just seems unreasonable. And Frederica, I guess when you see it, you understand why Mayor Bottoms said just because you should do something is different than if you can do something, because it just seems like this is not the kind of conversation and incident that should have led to someone's death.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Sure shouldn't have. But why did it? That's my question. Why did it? And Keisha LaMammy Bottoms, stop it. Because you was just, like I said on TV, talking about, how dare y'all tear the CNN building after everything Ted Turner has done for us. Stop it. You mean what's done for you? And see, let me tell you something. Look how intricate the details are. Look at all these black mayors, but they ain't one of them been like, this is racism, white supremacy, anti-black racism. And we cannot have anybody in law enforcement that are targeting black people and going after them with the intent to shoot and kill. We cannot have that. That was Walter Scott all over again. As they going and picking up the shell casings and trying to, I know what them white boys was doing. So what y'all should do is, everybody that's internet savvy, go find out where these race soldiers live, take pictures of their house and put it on the internet. Put their family on the internet. Put all their kids and children and all, start airing out their shit. Put their cousins on the internet. Because you know what it'll do is it'll strike fear in all these other race soldiers, and they'll be like, fuck that. I don't want these people coming after me. I ain't shooting nobody. Because what they're going to keep doing is what y'all don't understand. They're going to keep doing it. They're not going to stop. Motherfuckers think that these people are going to stop doing it. Look, I don't care how much these people march and whine with y'all. And like, look, first of all, those white women that burned up that damn Wendy's. Wasn't no black folks, but they want to just put it on black people. It's them. Because they want to burn up some shit, because it's poor white folk as well. But the thing about the subject matter is they want to frame this imagery or frame the picture that black folks is the destructive ones and want to loot and do all this other stuff, when it's all these other racial groups piggybacking off of our pain and struggle so they can get away with stealing, defacing property, tearing up shit. And that's fine. If that's what you want to do, fine. But what we want you to do too is, when you get on that corporate plantation, blow that shit up too. Go in there and infiltrate that shit. Start putting air. Start copy and pasting these emails that these people send on black folk and sending that shit to the news. So these CEOs and these VPs and all these big people that pretend like they not racist and a part of the anti-black racism movement, you know, like they don't like black people and they cloak it like they do, but they the most racist motherfucker. Put their asses on blast. That's what we need. We don't need motherfuckers out here just marching with us. You can march with us, but when the march is over, then what we gonna do? Let me tell you something. White people gonna march until it's time for the Raiders game. Then when the Raiders game come, motherfuckers gonna be like, oh, sorry, dude. Parents got me seasons tickets in the skybox. Then that's when you, see, it's all good when it ain't nothing going on. Once everything get back to normal, motherfuckers gonna be like, yeah, man, bro, sorry, bro, man. Gotta fucking go home, man. Having a fucking pool party. You're more than welcome to come, man. Black Lives Matter, dude. Like, that's how they gonna be. Straight up. And then you gonna be mad and hurt and be like, oh, I thought we was, and they gonna be like, oh, well, not really. That's why we shouldn't be expecting no allies and no friends. Dr. Claude Edison says, we have no friends. We have no allies. We don't have none of that. What the fuck you mean? What other person didn't listen to is Dr. Claude Anderson? Stop. Stop. As they're trying to use fear tactics and scare tactics to get motherfuckers to vote for fucking goddamn Joe 94 crime Bill Biden. Who had the nerve to tell us that we don't vote for him, he ain't black? Nigga, what? Well, why don't you tell that to the motherfuckers who you put in prison with that goddamn 94 crime bill? Over 500,000 people in prison. That's what I'm like, man. Just like, I'm just telling y'all, just like I, you know, having this conversation with one of my Latino sisters, you know, we read books back and forth and we talk about the books we read. And she's very much into like just different religion, like the history of religions and all that. She's just not programmed on Jesus said it or, you know, bless me, Father, for I have sinned, that bullshit. You know, she's more into like the esoteric knowledge behind it. And another motherfucker tried to jump it in and tell us about Christianity and she was looking at me and looking at him. Man, I was laughing because I was looking at him like, brother, just, you talk about read Romans. You don't even know who wrote Romans. Stop. Because what they have done was they have taken religion, which derives from Africa. Stop it. And then you think that your religion is the right religion. And you think that the Bible is this. And I was like, stop, man. That shit's not even real. Stop. Stop. That's why it's very imperative to know what's going on, man. Research, read. Don't take people's word for it. I know I don't. I don't never take nobody's word for it. Why should I take somebody's word for it when I can go read it myself? And don't take my word for it. Go read the book your damn self. Shit, stop. Like, that's the thing that I was looking at too. Like, people are still expecting Keisha LaMamie Bottoms to come out and be like, oh, well, she's not gonna do that. She already told y'all who she was when she told y'all to stop tearing up Ted Turner, tearing up my master's building. When she told y'all to stop tearing up her master's building, that should have let y'all know exactly what was going on. Them motherfuckers talking about this is Wakanda. Atlanta is being good to us. Okay, is it Wakanda now? Now that them white officers done shot and killed Rayshard Brooks, is it Wakanda now? See, that's why motherfuckers got to be careful. And it's very imperative and be mindful. What has been good to you doesn't necessarily mean it has been good to your brother. So a white person or a corporation, let's just say a corporation has been good to you. Let's just say Nike. Nike's been good to Jordan, but Nike has not been good to black folk as a whole, as a collective. So Jordan's perspective on Nike is going to be totally different than yours, or LeBron's than yours. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you're dealing with sponsorships and corporations, we that are backed and sponsored by them, we can't expect the average black person to have the same opinion as us because they've been good to us. That doesn't necessarily mean they've been good for our people. Has Nike been good for our people? No, as a whole, no, it has not. Nike doesn't rebuild our communities. Nike takes money from our community and rebuilds their communities. And then what they do is it's called separate but equal privilege. But we're gonna separate you because you're Michael Jordan and give you all this money because you worked hard, and you built our brand, but the rest of them niggas, they can just go buy it. And that's just how life works. And that shit is not gonna change. So I don't know why we think that marching and, oh, well, let's go vote. Like I had this conversation with this sister, and the sister was like, sister like my mom's age, she was like, yeah, boy, you better get out there and vote. We can't have this man in office. I said, vote for what? Because we can't have this man in office. You're not gonna vote? I said, why would I vote? She was like, you don't vote? I was like, no. She's like, why don't you vote? I said, can you explain to me the voting process? Just explain to me how it works. She was like, well, we vote to. I said, no. You are what is called the popular vote, the commoner vote. You are used to sway the electoral college. She was like, and who are they? I said, exactly. See? See how easy it is to try to tell me to do something that you heard that you were supposed to do, and then you haven't even broken down the process? I said, sweetheart, they teach us this in school. It's just we don't pay attention because there's so much other stuff going on, so much trauma that we deal with, and so much of us trying to, floss and fake it till we make it, so we're not paying attention to the intricate details. But I'll tell you, we are supposed to sway the electoral college, and that's who they vote for. She was like, okay, what's wrong with that? I said, Al Gore won the popular vote, but the electoral college voted for Bush. So what does that tell you? She was like, what do you mean, baby? What do you mean, sweetheart? I said, let me tell you like this. Al Gore won all the votes all over the United States of America, and all those votes were supposed to sway each state electoral college to vote for him. But the electoral college was like, well, I don't give a fuck who y'all want. We're putting Bush in charge. And that's the way it goes. It's just now people are starting to wake up because they did it again with Hillary and Trump. Hillary won the popular vote, but the electoral college voted for Trump. And she was like, I didn't know. I was like, yeah, a lot of people don't know that. And a lot of black folk don't know that because black folk from generation to generation, black folk view on politics is just like their view is on religion. You better do it because you're going to go to heaven. They're not going to explain to you what heaven looks like because they don't know what heaven looks like. They're not going to explain to you what hell looks like because they don't know what hell looks like. They're going by what a book told them that black people didn't even write. White people wrote the book that they took from black people, remixed it, took the real shit out of it, and put their shit in it and said, now you follow this. And then they gave you Cesare Borgia, and then you praising that. Me just finding out that Jesus Christ shares Ray Borgia, that was enough for me. I was like, all right, I'm over. I don't like to argue with people about religion, and I don't argue with people about religion. But I just tell them, man, go read the book. Go read about the Borgias. Go read about them, man. Now, it's up to you. Some people, you can put it in their face, and you can tell them and show them, and they'll still be like, no, but Jesus is real. Okay. You know the story is told 12 different times, right? You know the letter J is 900 years old, but Jesus Christ is supposed to be 2,000 years old. So how does that work? You know these stories were remixed stories from the Egyptians, from the Moors, right? You know that, right? And then they'd be like, no, I'm like, okay. Where do you think religion comes from? Then you start talking about Ifa and Santeria and talking about Shango and Orisha and voodoo. Motherfuckers be like, I don't do no voodoo. You know how I always been. That's what I'm saying, man. Black people's vision on politics is the same vision that they have towards religion, which translates to everyday life. That's why most black folk don't know about Dr. Francis Cresswell sing. March, Wine, and Repeat. That's a fact. A lot of people don't know about Neely Fuller Jr. A lot of people don't understand about Michelle Alexander's The New Jim Crow, or Dr. Joy DeGroove's post-traumatic slave syndrome, or Harriet Washington's medical apartheid. When motherfuckers start to get talking this shit about, oh, that was so long ago and it wasn't really that bad, I'd be like, well, then you need to go read medical apartheid and tell me if it wasn't that bad. You tell me. Stop. That's because we're allowing these people to be put in these positions where their options are to be, for the people, or be a mammy or a sambo. And most black folk choose to be mammies and sambos. They don't give a fuck about helping out their people. Well, why would you say that, Warren? Because Keisha LaMammy Bottoms would not have been defending Ted Turner, who gives a flying 1, 2, 3, 4 fucks about black folk in Atlanta. Stop. Motherfucker be thinking because a motherfucker donate motherfucking money and shit that they care about your well-being. They don't give a fuck about that. A lot of times those are tax write-offs. They don't care. And then everybody talk about Dave Chappelle, because Dave Chappelle be like, you know, I didn't know that about the Black Panther. No. Oh, so it took a comedian that you just particularly think is funny. A lot of people think Dave Chappelle is funny because Dave Chappelle did that white black supremacist and was making, you know, a lot of the jokes and the banter was directed towards black folk. So it was easy for white folk to enjoy it. But I think now that they're seeing that this racism is real, anti-black racism is real, white supremacy is real, which they've always known it, now it's being put in their face. Now they can't deflect, have white fragility, and act like it doesn't exist. Now motherfuckers want to all of a sudden come out the back and be like, yeah, you know, I agree. Like, that's true about the NRA. Stop. That's why, remember this, don't explain it to people. You can explain it to people, have a better understanding, but don't go out of your way to get comfortable and try, because they don't care. Most other racial groups are upset that black folks are probably now getting more attention than I've ever seen the entire lifespan that I've been on this earth. I've never seen black folk get this much attention unless it's having to do with sports. Racial matters has always been white people's Achilles heel that they don't like to talk about, because then they'd have to admit that they have privilege. Like I kept telling these Jewish motherfuckers on Twitter, white Jewish wealth comes from black labor. That's anti-Semitic. No, it's not. It's the truth. Y'all didn't build this country. You didn't build the railroads. No, you didn't do none of that shit. Stop. And the thing about it is we will sit up there and co-sign. I'm gonna keep bringing up that sheriff, that Latino brother from Texas, talking about, immigrants, and I'm for the immigrants and black folks. We built this country, and everybody cheering them on. No, somebody should be like, no. Black folks built this country, not immigrants. I'm sorry, I love y'all, but we got to get our props first. Our ancestors died and built these fucking so-called United States of America's railroads and buildings and monarchs. Stop, man. Stop. Give credit where credit is due. And just motherfuckers don't want to do that, because once you start admitting that, now you have to admit reparations and what is owed to us. And I'm sorry, it is owed to us. And I'm not going to change it. That's why I told the brother on Twitter, I was like, look, man, you can believe what you want. You can talk all this bullshit about your journey and all this other shit. I said, still don't take the fact that racism, white supremacy, and anti-black racism exist. And if you don't believe that the dominant society dominates 9 areas of activity, then tell me why. Then who dominates it? Because ain't no other group dominate religion, sex, war, education, politics, religion, labor, and law, and economics. You tell me. Stop. How you gonna tell me they don't dominate 9 areas of activity, and then you look in your wallet and that dollar on there, it ain't no picture of no black folk. It's a picture of a fucking cross-dressing George Washington and all these other motherfucking anti-black racist human beings who own slaves. That's why they look, racism, white supremacy institution is who singing the national anthem, and the person who wrote it was a goddamn slave owner who thought black people was put on this earth to be slaves to white folk, but let's just take out the verse and then you can sing it. Stop it. So you think if I went and wrote a song about dissing Jews and I just, the first part of the song was good and the second part was about dissing Jews, they wouldn't let you sing the song at all. You can't even give a Jew a compliment. So, but with black folk, sing the national anthem. And not only sing it, you better kneel, nigga, or you being disrespectful for those who fought for our country. It's so funny how the United States of America has bases in everybody's country, but no other country has bases in our country. Why do we have diplomats in every other country, but not in our country? I don't see any Chinese bases or nothing. You know why? You'll never see that. Because America and its total control and dominance over the world is their goal. New world order. Facts. So while you sitting up here thinking that racism, white supremacy isn't real, hey man, you can go to sleep. It's a lot of ciphers. You know, Cypher in the Matrix? That motherfucker was like, fuck it, I'm gonna make a deal because I'd rather stay in the Matrix so I can be somebody powerful. Straight up. And motherfuckers be thinking too, you know, another thing I learned, motherfuckers be thinking too, like if you kind of put your bid out there for the dominant society, but then speak up for black people, that black people are not wise enough to know what you're doing, and then white people are, and they'll, no, stop it. We know you a Sambo or a coon. Stop. Stop. That's why more videos and more videos are emerging of this police brutality towards black folk, basically anti-black racism. Tell y'all motherfuckers, man, y'all better stop thinking that these people are your friends because they marching with you. They don't give a fuck about you. Motherfucker could think that shit. Yeah, Oh, suspected white supremacist NFL player Jake Fromm apologized for racist tweet. Let's see what he put. I thought we were talking about lots of stuff, but no guns are good. They need to let me get suppressors. Just make them very expensive so only elite white people can get them. Yeah, he does think he does think that. Then this is what he's trying to redact what he said and walk it back. I am extremely sorry that I chose to use those words, elite white people, in a text message conversation. Although I never meant to imply that I am an elite white. Stop it. I'm an elite white person, as stated later in the conversation. There is no excuse for what word choice and sentiment. While it was poor, my heart is not. Now more than ever is the time for support and togetherness, and I stand against racism. Stop. Stop it. That's a suspected white supremacist, and that ain't gonna change. Stop. Stop lying. Stop. Stop it. Just like y'all notice, they not talking about that Hispanic that shot that cop out here in Las Vegas too. If it was a nigga, they'd be all over it. But since it was Hispanic, they just talked about it one time and that was it. You ain't heard about it no more. Just like if you live in Las Vegas, Nevada, the mayor pro team, that bitch said some racist shit. They need to fire her. And Carolyn Goodman, she gonna protect you. You know why she gonna protect her? Because she's a white supremacist too. Please stop. It's benefiting her and her white wealthy friends. That's why they don't give a fuck about people getting sick. Did y'all see her interview on CNN? That should have let you know how she feels about the American people. So do you have a plan to get the people back to work? Oh no, that's not my job. Well then what the fuck is your job? But them motherfuckers voted that bitch in there as mayor. Stop. And now the Democrats are calling for police reform. Don't listen to that police reform. That is nothing. That's trickery. That's wordplay. And you like, what you mean, Warren? That's wordplay. Stop it. These motherfuckers know what they doing. That's wordplay. Police reform ain't shit. That's another way of being like, okay, we just gonna restructure the shit we was already doing and then reword it, and then we gonna put it out there so people could be happy, and then it's gonna be the same shit. Just like, oh, the anti-choking law. That's always been a law. That's always been a law. Stop it. Officer Daniel Pantaleo, who they allowed to stay on the police force for 5 years after he killed Eric Gardner on national TV because he didn't like Eric Gardner. He already had grievances with him, just like George Floyd and Derek Chauvin. See, these white people know what they doing. Don't think that these white people are not cognizant of what they do. They know exactly. They are very aware of what they doing. Stop. Now, I want to try to see if I can get Keisha LaMamie Bottoms and see what she's got to say. Gotta play Keisha LaMamie Bottoms. You're like, damn, you call her? Yep. Keisha LaMamie Bottoms, sorry. She's a mammy. Sorry. You get on there and start defending them motherfuckers and don't defend your own people, you're a mammy. Sorry. So let's see what she got to say.
That this was a justified use of deadly force and have called for the immediate termination of the officer. I do not believe that this was a justified use of deadly force and have called for the immediate termination of the officer.
But why don't you prosecute the officer? See, firing him, they think when you fire him, he's just going to go work somewhere else. Stop.
What has become abundantly clear over the last couple of weeks in Atlanta is that while we have a police force full of men and women who work alongside our communities with honor, respect, and dignity, there has been a disconnect with what our expectations are and should be as it relates to interactions with our officers and the communities in which they are entrusted to protect.
So you thinking, saying a speech that they probably wrote for you to say to black folk, to make us think that you are a defender of black folk and you are going to go after those race soldiers? Nah. Not once in this lingo has she ever said we are going to prosecute him to the full extent of the law, and I'm going to use all my resources to prosecute him so any other racist or suspected racist cops that are on law enforcement in our city of Atlanta will get the message loud and clear that if you participate in anti-black racism, you will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law and you're going to be facing jail time. But you didn't say that. Right now, you just mammying it up.
Chief Erica Shields has been a solid member of APD for over 2 decades and has a deep and abiding love for the people of Atlanta. And because of her desire that Atlanta be a model of what meaningful reform should look like across this country, Chief Shields has offered to immediately step aside as police chief so that the city may move forward with urgency in rebuilding the trust so desperately needed throughout our communities. Former Assistant Police Chief and now Interim Corrections Chief Rodney Bryant will serve as the Interim Police Chief as we immediately launch a national search for new leadership.
Notice she never talked about prosecuting them still. Never know nothing about prosecuting those race soldiers. But you talking about, you see how they do it? And you see what bothers me the most, they'll get our people to do it to us. That's how cold the dominant society is. They don't have to do it. It's almost like the Eminem thing with Lord Jamar and Nick Cannon. How you going to talk shit about Nick Cannon, and then when Nick Cannon fires back and he says, well, you're only where you are because of racism, white supremacy. You're not really that great, but you're held in that regard because you're white. And a lot of white people buy hip-hop and R&B. So that's why you're held as this God MC. But you're not to us. And you a racist motherfucker. And you participated in racism, anti-black racism. But Eminem didn't have to say nothing back because he had all his Sambos and Coons defending him. Sorry. But when it comes to that, somebody on his team should be like, bro, you chill out on that, man. Chill out on that. And I get it. Fat Joe was trying to sell CDs, but I feel like Fat Joe shouldn't have done that either. You can't say it's hip-hop. No, this is white supremacy right now. And the reason why is because Eminem know what he's doing. He is the antithesis of what anti-black racism is because people act like they don't know what anti-black racism is. They act like it doesn't exist, like it's not going on. It's going on through this mayor. That's why I'm calling her Keisha LaMamie Bottoms, because she knows exactly what she's doing. Yet she has not talked about, see, they think just firing a cop. So if I kill somebody on my corporate plantation, right, and they just fire me, no, those people going to try to bring charges up on me. What are you talking about? But because they have the law to protect them, And the Fraternal Order of Police, so basically I got a license to kill. Stop.
Chief Shields will continue in a role to be determined. To the men and women of APD, your service and sacrifice on behalf of our communities is not lost upon me, and I remain grateful for the work that you do to keep our city safe. But as Dr. King reminded us many years ago, there is a fierce urgency of now that calls upon...
See? What did I tell y'all about the bringing up Martin Luther King? That is, a white person wrote that for her. I'm sorry. A white folk, I know white folk did. I battle them on Twitter all the time. They always, when you got them dead in your view, when you got them against the wall, they bring up Martin Luther King. That's their go-to car. Well, my family marched for Martin Luther King. And what the fuck does that mean? And your family is always almost, well, I would say almost every single time a black leader gets killed, your family's complicit in it. Well, those ain't my family. Those are your people. You on their team. Stop acting like you didn't call the motherfuckers out. To this day, ain't nobody called out J. Edgar Hoover. Now they want to make movies about him, but why isn't nobody that's in office right now been like, we have to get away from the days of the J. Edgar Hoovers and all that. The FBI taping people and seeking out the next black messiah and COINTELPRO. Most white kids today, they don't even know who the fuck J. Edgar Hoover is. But it's our job to educate black folks and our younger generation. You better know who J. Edgar Hoover is. You better know what the fuck is going on. Because that's the reason why the shit is the way it is. That's why most black folk that are in a position of power, they act like her.
Each of us, myself included, to be held accountable to the communities in which we are entrusted to serve. For that reason, we have already convened an advisory committee to examine our use of force policies in our city and expect feedback within the next 2 weeks with final recommendations within the next 45 days.
I got some feedback for you. You need to fix that wig that you got on, whatever the fuck you got going on. Stop it with the fucking mansplaining and shit. Stop that shit, man. God damn, man. I see one more motherfucker just be on there read some script. If a black person get killed in your backyard, you should be able to speak from the heart. You know what I mean? And just be like, this some bullshit, man. And you ain't gotta say it's some bullshit, but you should be able to speak from the heart. And it shouldn't be, in my personal opinion, it shouldn't be where you gotta fake the funk and all that. You should be able to just be like, you know what? We can't have racism or white supremacy in our law enforcement, and we have to treat everybody equal. But you notice she never said anything about racism or white supremacy. She never said anything about those cops at all. Go to FBAtimes.com. It's going to tell you all about those motherfuckers. Just like I was looking at this. Let me see. Another white man kills his black girlfriend, this time in Baton Rouge. A 27-year-old white man was booked into the East Baton Rouge Parish prison Sunday after he confessed to fatally stabbing his black girlfriend as a Jefferson Highway apartment complex. Man, what the fuck? Telling you, man. See, motherfuckers be thinking because motherfuckers be down with you and all that, man, you better be careful who you got around you. But you know what's so funny? This is what's so funny, though. You're never going to read about that shit. You're never going to see about it. Just like all y'all that's listening, Shawnee, all y'all that'll listen later on. It was a Mexican that killed a cop out here. But you ain't heard nothing about it, have you? I bet you ain't heard a single thing. Josh, I know you ain't seen it all on the news. They put it on the news one time for that brother. Let that have been they wanted it to be a nigga so fucking bad. Trust me, everyone wanted it to be a nigga. So they'd be like, see, this is what, nah, it wasn't us. Just like it ain't us setting shit on fire. It was those white women that set that goddamn Wendy's on fire. They knew what the fuck they was doing. But they want to blame it on us, just like it was fucking white people. Let's go to Melrose and tear up Melrose. Let's go to Santa Monica. And let's go to the Cheesecake Factory. When have you ever known for a nigga to go, let's go to the Cheesecake Factory? Stop. The Cheesecake Factory was around when Oscar Grant got killed, when Philando Castile got killed. We weren't thinking about that. A lot of this shit is white agent provocateurs playing games. knowing what the fuck they doing. Stop. I just want to know, when are we going to put these race soldiers on blast? And I'm reading this thing about 2 black men in California appear to have been lynched recently. This week, a black man named Robert L. Fuller was found hanging from a tree in Palmdale, California. Fire department personnel who responded to the scene determined he was dead. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department said in a statement, Palmdale City described it as an alleged death by suicide. Stop it. A few weeks earlier in Victorville, California, on May 31st, 2020, another black man named Malcolm Harsh was found dead hanging from a tree near the Victorville Library. Nah, niggas ain't killing themselves. Stop. 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 But that's what they want y'all to think. See, just like those, see, when they tried to get violent with Rayshard Brooks, that motherfucker was beating their ass, and then he ran away, then he turned around and shot him. Not with a taser, you shot him with a gun. They knew what they was doing, man. These black folk gotta wake up, man. Exactly, you had to look it up, because they not gonna show you. Because it wasn't no fucking nigga. It wasn't no black person. It wasn't no nigga. It wasn't no melanated person that killed the police. If it was a black person that killed the police, it'd be war on black people again out here in Vegas. But since it wasn't, I'm telling you, now these race soldiers out here, they're looking to try to go in on niggas out here. But they really kind of can't, because Las Vegas, from my perspective, the only reason why they don't want to fuck up their money, because they know motherfuckers gonna be out here tripping. And then they go know that that tourism is gonna drop, because motherfuckers gonna be like, why the fuck would I go there? They racist as fuck. But please believe you me, Las Vegas, Nevada is racist like a motherfucker. Anti-black racism out here in Vegas is real. Don't let these people fool you. Look at these casinos. Look at these major corporations. You don't see no black people in charge of them shits, and it is never going to change. Stop it. Everybody pandering and caping for this Black Lives Matter thing. They just trying to jump on the bandwagon so they're not seen as the racist, white supremacist company or corporation that they are. So they gonna jump on the bandwagon. But trust me, the majority of these white corporations practice anti-black racism. And if they do, they'll get some type of nigga on some affirmative action type shit that they can kind of maim and control and mold into their image. That Obama shit. They want to mold you into how they feel you supposed to be. But you want to tell me that the white dominant society doesn't dominate 9 areas of activity? That's why I laughed at this motherfucker. I said, man, you sounding quite Sambo-ish. Straight up, man. We got to call these motherfuckers to the flow and stop expecting every black person to have the best interests of our people at heart. Motherfuckers don't. Even on the internet, they don't. Motherfuckers that still say some Sambo-ass buck dancing coon shit. Look at Terry Crews. You know how many niggas is like Terry Crews? Oh, I don't see no racism at all. Man, what? Why do you think at most corporate plantations they not even gonna bring up no racism? They don't want to talk about that shit, because then that calls them to the floor. Because there's so many things that black folks can point out that the dominant society participate in when it comes to anti-black racism at the job. It's so much shit that you can call out. So much. That's why I always tell most black folk, don't even involve yourself in petty conversations, because those are bait and switch tricks that get you to be all emotional. See, I'm not emotional, so I just laugh at people. Funny you say that, because my CVS is promoting like 3 new black people for supervisor positions. Of course. Because you think CVS want to come out? You think any major corporation, Walgreens, the 99-cent store, let's go with, what's another major corporation? Bank of America, Wells Fargo, you think they're going to come out and be like, oh, well, we participate. No, they're not going to admit that until somebody whistleblows. What's going to have to happen is you're going to need some white person to, like I said, get those emails, make copies of them, and put it out there and be like, yeah, this is what y'all been saying. Just like that mayor pro team. Let me see. Let me find her. Hold on, Mayor Pro Team. Hold on, I'm looking for, yeah, let me find out what her name is, Fiore. Yeah, that bitch said some hella racist shit. My First Amendment rights are under attack. Show the video of the uncut version of my speech. I am truly sorry that we have pandering idiots as the chairman of the Clark County Republican Party, CCRP. I have a plan of correction set up. I've instructed my staff to put a swear jar in my office. This apology demand comes from the CCRP. So if anyone in the CCRP is offended by the word ass or my New York style, my apologies. I promise I will work on my public language. Pinky swear. That's what she said. Let's see what she said. Let's see if we can get them to play.
Fiore saying today in a news conference that she does not have a racist bone in her body. The Clark County GOP Chief of Staff tells me that since Saturday night, they have received several calls about insensitive racial comments made by Fiore. Las Vegas Mayor Pro Tem Michelle Fiore under fire, accused of making racially insensitive comments Saturday at the Clark County GOP convention. The party chief of staff tells me they've received over 100 calls about her statements since then. This is what delegates claim Fiore said.
She engaged in a hypothetical in which she was a candidate for a job that she, in her hypothetical, would have lost to a lesser qualified black candidate, and she said, and then I wind up losing the job, or we wind up losing the jobs to their black. And then following that, she said, I'm going after affirmative action next, and she said, white lives matter.
Here's what happened.
Uh-huh. This is what Michelle Fiore said. How dare I lose to a candidate, their black asses? Why should we help their black asses? I'm going after affirmative action next, and white lives matter. See, this is how these white people really feel in Las Vegas, Nevada. So why don't y'all go spread that? So don't ever think that Las Vegas, Nevada ain't racist. These motherfuckers are beyond racist. Stop it. This is anti-black racism at its finest. But we be thinking because a motherfucker could do the two-step or the electric slide with us or the Dougie, that they for us. Let me write that one more time so you can hear what this motherfucker just said.
Qualified black candidate, and she
Claim Fiore said.
She engaged in a hypothetical in which she was a candidate for a job that she, in her hypothetical, would have lost to a lesser qualified black candidate, and she said, and then I wind up losing the job, or we wind up losing the jobs to their black. And then following that, she said, I'm going after affirmative action next, and she said, white lives matter.
Here's what happened when I asked her about the White Lives Matter comment today.
So you're saying that you said all lives matter, not white lives matter.
Yeah, all lives matter. All lives. And you know what? I have to tell you, I have agreement with that. I have agreement with that with our Black Lives Matter folks that we met with yesterday. And the
Man, what are you saying? You have agreement with that. Man, what are you saying?
education I got from them was really educating me.
Fiore saying she spoke with the Clark County GOP on Wednesday.
I said, who's offended? Because I really need to reach out to them and talk to them. So if you're offended, I'm very sorry, and I mean it with respect.
No, she needs to be removed. Sorry, no. You said white lives matter. You said, why should I lose to a less educated black person? And I'm not worried about their black asses anyway, or some shit. No. And you said white lives matter. You're racist. You uphold white supremacy. anti-black racism at its finest. Get her the fuck out of here. Sorry. No. Nice try. No. Sorry.
And sincerity.
The party chief of staff explaining he did not keep a list of names and he wouldn't release them to Fiore if he had.
We accept the Mayor Pro Tem's apology. And as I said, earlier, we are ready, if not eager, to move forward.
Councilman Cedric Creer sent a letter to Mayor Carolyn Goodman calling for Fiore to be removed as Mayor Pro Tem. It says, quote, "There is no place within Las Vegas City Hall or anywhere in our great country for this type of divisiveness, especially from a person in a leadership position."
He put out a statement based on rumor, speculation, and secondhand gossip.
Secondhand gossip? Bitch just said it. Stop. The people in your own party ratted you out. Stop. Stop. See, that's the divisiveness that I'm talking about. These people don't give a fuck about you. Stop. This is our time to go after these people who are blatantly in positions of power and practice anti-black racism. So for all y'all that don't know, in Las Vegas, Nevada, all the people that listen to this podcast, the Mayor Pro Tem, Michelle Fiore, whatever the fuck her name is a white supremacist who practices anti-black racism. So I hope everybody understands that. And don't ever think that that shit is gonna change. And Carolyn Goodman is a part of that shit. Or she'd have been like, I'm gonna have to ask you to step down. You can't do that. You can't even say that right now. But no, you know why? Because she know black people ain't gonna say shit. And her own party threw her under the bus. These people were all GOP people. And they was even like, hey, that's some racist shit you just said. You know that, right? And that bitch probably was like, I bet you it's nigga at home all day long. Then you gonna try to explain talking about you gonna try to explain talking about, oh, that's just New York talk. Right, I know. So you must be related to Officer Pantaleo, Daniel Pantaleo. You must be related to him. Stop it. This is the all lives matter. Who's offense? That's offensive to any black person who's watching black people be killed with impunity, and you talking about all lives matter. Stop it. Stop. That's divisiveness, and this is what they do. This is what the dominant society does. Don't ever think that shit is gonna change. It's never going to change until black people rise as one, be on code, like Neely Fuller Jr. says, and take the shit back and be like, fuck y'all voting process, fuck all this bullshit, we're taking it back, and if you don't give a fuck, we not participating in nothing, which means niggas ain't playing no basketball, niggas ain't playing no football. Fuck it, go ahead, you can have a Raiders organization with no niggas on it. Then I bet you motherfuckers be like, all right, man, fuck all that. We sorry. What y'all want? We don't know how much power we have. It's power in numbers. It's just niggas don't be wanting to give up their lifestyles. And I get it. It's a son of a bitch. I get it. But it's more dominant society people out here that's betting on niggas cooning and buck dancing than motherfuckers standing up for something. And that's why they don't respect us as a nation, as a race. That's why we don't get respect. That's why other racial groups come here and they laugh at us, too, because they see how disaggregated we are. And we don't want to work with each other. And then motherfuckers want to talk shit about Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. But then when I'm like, okay, then what's your plan then? Motherfucker never had a plan. It's just divisiveness. Just people want to be divisive on these social media platforms. But people don't want to bring about action of change and change the narrative. Well, why are you changing the Warren? Educating myself. Educating the people around me. Anybody that's around me, hey man, you need to read this book. Go read the book. No, I'm not finna just sit up here and we finna just placate on each other's feelings and shit. Fuck all that. Read this book. You ain't gotta agree with me, just read the book. I hope you find something in the book that I don't know about. You know, there are just certain things that we gotta understand about this institution of racism and white supremacy. And the main thing you better understand is these people are not your friends. And these people will come along and pretend and act like they're your friend and laugh and joke with you and all this other shit. And then you look up and you're like, oh, damn. These motherfuckers don't give a fuck. No, they don't. Stop it. And then the bitch didn't even know how to respond to the shit. I really don't, man. Stop. Stop. Stop it. And we think that the shit is gonna change. Shit is not gonna change, man. It's not. You're like, well, why is it not gonna change? It's not gonna change. The black folk are on the same team. Understand what's going on? Come on. The black folk that's out there in fucking Atlanta need to hold Keisha LaMamie Bottoms to the fire. Well, what was all that shit you was talking about? Ted Turner's building. Why would you be defending him? Okay, and why didn't you? What's up with the police reform, all that? Why y'all not pressing charges against this man that those men that shot and killed him? Why y'all not pressing charges? See, she's no better than that mayor in Minnesota who was crying and pretending like he was sad, and then when they was like, so you gonna defund the police? And he's like, no, they was like, they get the fuck out of here then. They didn't do that to that mayor too. See, motherfuckers just giving her a pass because she black. All the bitch doing is splaining, mammy-splaining, and pretending like she got black folks' best interests at heart. She don't give a fuck about black folks' interests. Nobody that is in a position of power that is being backed by the dominant society could ever have your best interests at heart. I'm sorry. Warren, man, you work at the corporate plan. You're right. You're right. I sure do. And that's why I know they don't have our best interests at heart. I don't care. Man, every job that I've worked at, I've never seen where they've had black folks' interests at heart. Every job or corporate plantation that I've worked at the last 20-some years, I've always seen anti-black racism. I've always seen it. I've never seen black folk in a position of power. And then when they get a little bit of power, they start treating other niggas like shit. They are the official telling about the gunline bosses from Life, from the movie Life. That's who they become. And they police us in such a way where they step on our neck to impress they master, they boss. To let they boss know, I keep them in line, boss. And then when boss fire them, then they want to come back. I've already experienced that. Now, was I the most mature person? All I know I wasn't. Not at all. But I'll tell you this, I've already experienced it. Several instances where I've worked, I remember I worked several places. And every place that I worked where it was a black person in charge, as a kid, I didn't get it. But as I got older, I was like, oh shit, here we go. You almost rather have a white person. Because black people, man, they go out of their way to buck dance and cool. I remember I worked at Opportunity Village and I had a black supervisor, young dude, light-skinned brother. So you already had I don't know if he had a complexion or not. He was just always samboing and cooning. And every time they would tell him something, it would always be like, man, you in trouble, man. Man, they said you did this. And I'm like, why are you going off what somebody said? These people don't even know me. I don't even, and at the time, I didn't even deal with none of these people. I never even talked to them. At all. But when you have a sambo and a coon that's afraid about losing their job, they don't give a fuck. They're going to invoke that fear on you. It was the worst experience I've ever had in my life. To the point where they had him like, hey, man, you think you can work some? Man, I'll never forget that. This was a long time ago. I'll never forget that shit. Hey, man, you think you can work some extra time, man? Because, man, I've been doing a lot, man. And I'm like, well, you the supervisor. Shit, that's why you get paid. He's like, well, technically, man. I'm like, nah, I ain't doing it, bro. Sorry. That's why I couldn't wait to get the fuck away from that motherfucker, man. That was the worst experience ever. I don't know what experience was that. That or just every experience that I've had for the most part working for black folk at these corporate plantations is just an awful experience. And the reason why I say it's an awful experience because they end up samboing, buck dancing, cooning, mammying. You almost just rather have a white person. Straight up. Because for the most part, unless this black person is rooted and grounded in their studies and they understand, and please don't let it be some college graduate. Oh, Lord Jesus. Then they really gonna treat you fucked up for the most part. I'm just going off my experience. It has never been a great experience for me, and I just, nah. So I'm just here to tell y'all, man, understand that this shit is real. R.I.P. to Rayshard Brooks. I would hope that my black folk really wakes them up and really wakes them up to Keisha LaMamie Bottoms. And that race soldier, Garrett Rolfe, or whatever his name is, I hope he gets the death penalty. I hope the powers that be brings him death. And his family as well, because you knew what you was doing the whole time. You didn't protect and serve. You're there to murder and kill black folk. You are a participant in anti-black racism. And for that, I call upon the spirit of Ogun, and I call upon the spirit of Jean-Jacques Dessalines to bring you death. Sorry. Yeah, I said it. Oh, well. Because I'm telling you, motherfuckers need to go watch 1804. Watch 1804, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Because Jean-Jacques Dessalines like, man, fuck this motherfucker. How many Haitians he killed? Oh, he killed 3,000 Haitians? Killed 20,000 motherfucking white people. And that's why Haiti is the poorest country in this world, and they're the most feared, and don't nobody want to fuck with them because they know that they'll uprise again. That spirit of Jean-Jacques Dessalines is still there. Dirty Bookman, Mackendall, these motherfuckers know what the fuck it is, man. They knew what it was. Toussaint L'Ouverture. They knew. Those Haitians knew. That's why that revolution lasted so long, and that's why they knew, like, nah, we gonna kill these motherfuckers. They trying to take over, and that's why I say that prayer. That motherfucker said the white man whose God asked him to commit crimes. The fuck? That's why they said take away the white man's God in his image of God. Man, no, that's their God, not our God. Our God is a just God. Fuck that. Stop it. That's why it's so funny to talk to the average Caucasian brother about comics. And I'm like, well, you know, Stan Lee and DC, they got all that shit from black people. The fuck? I said, Black Panther, are you serious? Go read the book They Came Before Columbus, how Columbus describes the metal that he'd never seen before. And the gold and all that he never seen before in Africa. First of all, Christopher Columbus didn't even know how to get to the Americas. He got lost. He had to get Moors. First of all, he didn't build the ships. The Moors built the ships. That's why they got niggas thinking that we don't like water. No, white people don't like water because we ran the sea. That's why. We built the ships. Stop it. Go read They Came Before Columbus by Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. And how we knew how to cultivate the tobacco and stand over it. It was used as a healing agent. And you would stand over it and it would go through the asshole and heal the inside of your body. Go read that. Stop it. The Moors were geniuses. And the black folks here that built this country were geniuses. They know we are the gods. We just need to know that we are the gods. And stop dealing with these Sambos and coons and call their asses out, discard them, set them aside, and move the fucker forward. Move it ahead, move it forward, move it full speed ahead, move it forward. Don't fucking let nobody derail you. Don't get to the side and be like, oh, okay. No. Move aside and move ahead. Be like, man, I can't fuck with you, man. It's on this anti-black racism shit right now. And if you got any white friends or you got white people that's white friends, if they really down for the cause, they know what it is. They reading the books. They educating themselves. They not just sitting up here playing dumb, acting like white fragility don't exist. No, they in those books. As Dr. Umar Johnson said about Tim Wise on TV, and I've been saying that shit, what the fuck has Tim Wise done to move forward and help black people? What has he done? Like I told you, oh yeah, look, being articulate doesn't mean that you're fucking intelligent and smart. That just means you're articulate. That just means you have a way with words. Most preachers are articulate, but most preachers are not smart. They're dumb. And they've only read one book. So just because Tim Wise is very articulate doesn't mean that he has a full understanding of what racism and white supremacy is, because he benefits from it. But you come among black people profiting off of their struggle and pretending like you care about it when really you're not trying to make a change at all. That's why I said, where's Tim Wise? You'll never see Tim Wise. He's a shiesty motherfucker who has white privilege, and he knows he has it, and he knows he can use it for evil, and he has used it for evil. How, Warren? Benefiting off of black struggle, but not doing anything to change it. If I was Tim Wise and I had this type of fame and publicity, I'd be going to white corporations all over the United States, training them on their racism and how you need to, no, that's racist. No, but you're not doing that. You're just going on black people talking about how, oh, my mom and my daddy, and I don't want to hear that shit. I've never been a fan of Tim Wise. I always looked at him suspect because I'm like, well, it's easy to do that, but what are you doing to change it? And you're not. Stop it. Hey man, I've been on here for a minute. That's my time. I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. Hey, this is the No I Don't Know podcast. I'm your boy Warren G. You already know what it is. Hey, man, everybody handle their business. Shout out and RIP to Rayshard Brooks, his family, George Floyd's family. Love and respect to y'all. Another fallen soldier. Let that be a lesson that this racism, anti-black racism, does not stop. Call out any Sambo and coon you know. Tell them to get the fuck away from you. It's moving forward and leaving these Sambos, Mammies, and coons and fucking Hayward Shepherds behind. If you out here acting like anti-black racism doesn't exist because you haven't experienced it yet, guilty, nigga. The fuck out of here. It exists. I'm out. Peace.